Amsterdam, 1830, a city of canals, windmills, and rich history. It was a time of great change as the Dutch people struggled to maintain their independence amidst the tumultuous politics of Europe. In this vibrant city, two young souls lived separate lives, unaware that fate had other plans for them. Elske van der Meer, a beautiful 22-year-old artist, spent her days painting the breathtaking landscapes of Holland's countryside. Her passion for art was only rivaled by her love for the windmills that dotted the Dutch landscape. Meanwhile, in the bustling streets of Amsterdam, Hendrik Clausen, a charming 25-year-old merchant, navigated the complexities of international trade. His sharp business acumen and quick wit had earned him a reputation as one of the city's most successful traders. Their paths would soon cross, setting in motion a series of events that would change their lives forever. On a crisp spring morning, Elske found herself lost in the winding canals of Amsterdam. Her art supplies and easel had been left behind at her studio, and she was desperate to return before her teacher, Mrs. Bloem, grew impatient. As she turned a corner, she collided with Hendrik, who was rushing to meet a client. Apologies were exchanged, and as they both bent down to retrieve their scattered belongings, their eyes met for the first time. The connection was instantaneous. Elske's cheeks flushed, and Hendrik's smile faltered for a moment before he regained his composure. I'm so sorry, young lady," Hendrik said, offering her a gallant bow. "It seems we've both had a bit of a mishap." Elske smiled up at him, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "I suppose we have, sir. But I assure you it's not every day one meets such a charming gentleman in the midst of chaos." Hendrik chuckled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "And not every day does one encounter an artist as lovely as yourself." As they parted ways, Elske couldn't shake off the feeling that she had just met someone special. Over the next few weeks, Hendrik and Elske crossed paths on several occasions. They would exchange brief conversations about art, trade, or the latest news from the city. Their mutual respect and admiration for each other grew with each encounter. One afternoon, as Elske was setting up her easel in a quiet square, Hendrik appeared beside her, carrying a large basket of freshly baked bread and cheese. "I brought you some provisions, my dear artist," he said, his eyes twinkling. "You look like you could use a snack." Elske's face lit up as she accepted the offering. As they sat together on a bench, watching the world go by, their conversation flowed effortlessly. They discovered shared passions for music and literature, and Hendrik was enchanted by Elske's stories of the countryside. As the days turned into weeks, their meetings became more frequent. Elske would accompany Hendrik to his office, where he would show her his latest trade agreements and explain the intricacies of international commerce. In return, Hendrik would visit Elske at her studio, watching with wonder as she brought her paintings to life. Their relationship blossomed, but it wasn't without its challenges. Hendrik's business dealings were often fraught with tension, and Elske's artistic temperament could be volatile. However, they found solace in each other's company, and their love continued to grow. As the summer of 1830 drew to a close, Hendrik received an offer from a prominent trading firm in London. The opportunity was too great to pass up, but it meant he would have to leave Amsterdam for several months. Elske, sensing his unease, tried to reassure him that their love could withstand distance. However, as the days turned into weeks and Hendrik's departure drew near, doubts began to creep in. What if their relationship couldn't survive the test of time? What if they grew apart, like two ships passing in the night? Elske, too, struggled with her own insecurities. She had always been independent, but Hendrik's love had given her a sense of belonging she never knew she needed. The thought of losing him was unbearable. As Hendrik prepared to leave, their conversations became strained. They both knew that their relationship was at a crossroads, and the outcome was far from certain. The day of Hendrik's departure arrived, and Elske found herself standing alone on the quayside, watching as his ship sailed away into the distance. Tears streamed down her face as she realized that they might never see each other again. In a fit of despair, Elske turned to walk back to her studio, but a gust of wind caught her hat, sending it flying onto a nearby windmill's blades. As she chased after it, she stumbled upon Hendrik, who had returned to the city on business. Their eyes met, and without a word, they knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. They shared a passionate kiss as the windmills of Amsterdam whirred in the background, a symbol of their enduring love. As the months passed, Hendrik and Elske's love continued to flourish despite the distance between them. Letters flew back and forth across the seas, each one filled with words of devotion and longing. In the end, it was Hendrik who returned to Amsterdam, his business dealings resolved, but his heart forever changed by the love he had shared with Elske. Together, they built a life that blended art and commerce, their love becoming the stuff of local legend. As they stood on the quayside, watching the sun set over the windmills, Hendrik turned to Elske and said, "You are my masterpiece, my dear artist, forever and always." Elske smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. "And you, my love, are the brush that brought color to my life." The end.